G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 8 of my Drain Essence Apostate playthrough with Manfred here. Last episode I kind of made a catch-up episode for the one that I missed, but this time we're up to Fort Ikon, and I actually have to go and do the Fort Ikon stuff now. In between episodes I went ahead and I killed a Necropolis a couple extra times, twice actually. And not because I think you should kill him twice, but that's just how long it took me to get a decent medal. If you didn't get one, then don't worry about it. Just get any one, and it'll be fine. The one I ended up getting, this one actually dropped first, and I thought, no one's going to believe that I actually dropped that. Apostates is giving +2 to deadly aim, useful, and +2 to mark of torment, also useful. So this one's not too bad at all. But then this one dropped, and this is just even better. So I figured, why not use this one instead? So this one is immediately usable, which is good. It does mean it's a lower level version, but it's still pretty good. No extra skill points on this one, but we do have the Aether Missiles proc, which I've talked about a few times now. I think this is the first one I've seen in this playthrough. So I'll show this one off, and I'm actually going to be wearing this. I will gain 1% chaos, 12% vitality, and 37% piercing resistance for wearing this. So obviously it's going on immediately, and I'm going to go ahead and swap over my movement skill, which I should have right there. And also I need the component back. Now I also found some more fun, I guess, items, or at least items that are worth pointing out. While I was farming Necropolis. The first one is these Impervious Frontier Sabatons of Kings. Now, the percentages on this mean that I'm not going to use it, but health, 2 resistances, and the Battlecry proc are pretty good. Battlecry giving total speed, which is cast speed, move speed, run speed, all of the speeds basically. And also the extra damage there. That's not up super often, but when it is up, it's quite good. And obviously 2 resistances and some health. All this is missing is some run speed, and the fact that it's lightning is kind of bad. But otherwise, they're pretty good boots. And then I also found these ones here, which again, only 1 resistance, and it's a low percentage, but it does have the Insight proc on it, which is admittedly not as useful as it used to be because the elemental damage is borderline useless for us, but the extra energy regen is quite nice. Anyhow, I'm not going to end up using those, but the other thing I did find, and I've also decided I'm not going to use this, but the Wreath of Souls is pretty good for anything with Necromancer. Now, the reason I'm not going to use this, because originally when I saw it, I thought, great, that's a new hat for me, I'm going to use it. The reason I'm not going to is it's +1 to all Necromancer skills, and that's 5 skill points. It is our main attack skill, so you definitely could justify it. But I would lose Aether Resistance. I would lose +3 to Spectral Binding, which is like 700 hit points, 600, 700 hit points. It's a lot. In exchange for, I mean, +1 to my main attack skill is pretty good. But no, I'm just going to leave it on there. I will hang on to it though. Not sure why now that I'm actually saying it. I'm going to get rid of it. Which one of these is the better item? Well, actually, they're both horrible rolls. The percentage increase armor there, I think, goes up to 7%. That might be the elite version though, so I'm definitely going to get rid of one of them. I'll hang on to the other one, but I do like this conversion here. Although having said that, our elemental damage at the moment is basically just Word of Pain, since I've got... there's lightning on this as well. Yeah, it's kind of good. And I've decided that the Blaze Herald, honestly, without the proc, I kind of don't care for this. I'll probably keep it. I'll sometimes swap it in for fighting bosses, but otherwise, meh. So, I mean, this is a Drain Essence build. It's not a Word of Pain build. So, yes, but also I would just rather have the proc. Right, with that said, let's go on one of the longest scrolls in the game. And let's get into Fort Ikon. Now, there's a lot of Aether damage in here, so if you haven't got sort of 50% plus on the Aether resistance, maybe grab a potion or find some more resistances, because we're going to fight a boss that can be a little scary. The Aether proc on the metal did just fire off there. You're going to see those little Aether balls come flying out. That is the proc. That's going to be triggered constantly by things hitting me because Spectral Wrath counts as an attack, so it's just going to be going off constantly. Also, there's some loot in the wall up here. Someone mentioned it in one of my previous videos, and now I think about it every time I get to here, so thanks for that. Good loot, it's hard to find, but hidden loot is always fun, even if you don't get anything. Okay, so a couple of things we're looking out for in here. There's a quest, the supplies here, and there's also obviously Lucius at the end, who is the big bad scary boss. And he is actually somewhat scary. Especially if you don't just know his attacks and know what to dodge, he can be quite scary. Fortunately, I do know his attacks and I know what to dodge, so he's a bit of a puppy. Alright. The other thing I'm looking for in here is maybe a piece of the Flesh Warped armor set. Kind of not expecting it super much, but I would like to get it. Chest piece definitely could see upgrades. I'm not 100% sure on what level the upgrades are. They may be maybe 50, so maybe I'm talking crap, and actually there is no upgrades available here, but at least in theory, I want that hero. This is a waste of time, but I want him. He needs to die. Alright, just going down pretty quickly, which is good. I will say, though, that, like, okay, I mentioned that I don't really care so much for the Blaze Herald, and that's true, but if this had spawned or dropped with the Mage Storm prefix, I would absolutely use it, for sure. And it's something you could definitely farm, but the lower level you are, the less interesting, I guess, farming things is. The main reason I suggested getting a decent metal is that the metal doesn't have armor or damage on it. I mean, it does have damage on it, but you can basically use that for quite a while if it has good resistances. Whereas something like the anything with armor on it, you're definitely going to want to upgrade it semi-regularly. So farming low-level stuff is less worth it, let's just say. And again, I realize as I'm saying this that I've just pretty much talked myself out of farming metals and weapons. So it probably actually would be a good idea to farm the Blaze Herald a couple times. Just get a Mage Storm or something like that, and then just use it until the end. Having said that, though, the Mage Storm proc itself does have levels, and so it would be much less useful later, unless you farmed another one. So I guess I did just talk myself back into farming higher level versions of it. There we go, I changed my mind 3 times in one conversation and there was no one else speaking. They're all good though. I mean, whether you just get the minimum you need to continue and then push forward, or whether you decide to take your time and get better procs and get, you know, the resistances you need and all that sort of stuff. As long as you're having fun, that's really what matters. Okay, so this is the boss door. Lucius is pretty much here-ish. And he has more or less 3 attacks that you're going to see. If you're following along with me and you have damage that is kind of on par to what I have, then you're going to get similar sort of levels of damage and similar kill time, which means you're probably only going to see each of these 3 attacks one time, maybe not even one time, and then he's going to be dead. So first one or second one, the first 2 kind of alternate. he's going to shoot little aether balls at you. So it's going to be a pulsing, like boom, 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 like he has a cannon for an arm. He's going to shoot little aether balls at you, and they're going to do very little damage if you have good aether resistances. And you can pretty much ignore them. I believe they come with a defensive ability debuff. There's something on them, and I could be completely wrong there, but I think there's a defensive ability debuff on it. And I'm just going to ignore it. The second, or perhaps first one that he's going to do is a flamethrower. Now, he usually does this one second, and it may be that he always does it second. It's a flamethrower, and it definitely has a debuff on it. And I'm also going to ignore that. And then the third one is the one that you want to keep your evade for, and that is the meteors. So when you see the meteors above you, give it, a little bit of time to start moving, and then just evade. I believe they sunder. In fact, I'm 99% sure they sunder. And if you get hit by like 2 or 3 of these things, or multiple, let's say, they will shotgun you, you will die, and you will be very embarrassed. And if you're playing on hardcore, you'll be very frustrated and annoyed. So, aether resistance and dodge the meteors is pretty much this guy's whole thing. So let's just go kill him. He also does drop a pretty cool aether weapon as well. We're not going to use it because it's two-handed, but we will have a look. So there's the aether balls. No debuff on them, I had that wrong. But there is the goop on the ground. There's the flamethrower, which apparently just does damage. And I'm going to stop attacking him. There's the meteors. There we go. So actually, I could have killed him before that dropped down. So damage is pretty good. And here is the Aether Fire Lucius Blade Arm of the Aether. I am actually going to equip this just for a little bit, because I've actually never used this. I really want to make a build to use this, but I just never have. There's so many monster infrequent items where I look at it and I think, I really want to make a build with that, and then I just don't, because I go and do something else. So, let's see the Aether Meteors from this thing. There they are. That's me. Well, I mean, technically it's the sword doing the meteoring. So you can get probably a pretty good build. +4 to death sentence on that. Oh, no. No, it's an apostate weapon. Well, I mean, Reckless Power is Arcanist as well, so. Aether damage to Word of Renewal. Okay. So Inquisitor support mastery and then some sort of other mastery. Alright, well, anyway, I've seen the meteors. That is actually the first time I've ever triggered that airstrike. It also comes with the Aether Blast, which is going to be from Aether Fire, so that's pretty good. This Fleshwort Plate Mail, I saw this when it dropped and I was super excited, but then I remembered that Sheltering is actually cold resistance, and I was less excited. Armor downgrade, health downgrade, armor percentage upgrade, so that's good, and then 3 resistances, but the big one is cold, so yeah, I'm gonna pass. Alright, we're good. Let's blow this up. With the supplies here, you have a choice. You can either return it to Fort Ikon, or you can actually take it down to Homestead. Now, if you take it to Homestead, you will get Homestead reputation as a gain, and you will lose Black Legion. So, considering that Black Legion reputation is a little bit harder, or at least rarer to get, I am going to turn this into Weapon Master Edric for an inventory bag, some scrap, and plus 500 Black Legion and minus 250 Homestead. This doesn't really matter. By the time you can get these guys to Revered, you'll have enemies you can just gun down or drain down. So you could just farm that back up if you wanted to, but I like having the little bit of extra Black Legion stuff. Black Legion reputation, that is, and I just prefer it that way. It doesn't really matter, like I said. Alright, let me vendor all this stuff, and then we are going to go and do some Black Legion quests. And by some Black Legion quests, what I mean is, a Black Legion quest. Because if I just double check on the plan here, we are siding with the Outcast. Because I actually want to have a look at some of her gear. Now, ordinarily, I would say don't pick a side here, or side with her and then just walk away. Don't do any of her quests, because every one of her quests that you do will be reducing your Black Legion reputation, which is not great. So if you want to see her stuff, you can have a look here. The piece of gear that I was looking at is the Outcast Wrath. So if we just type in Wrath here, we're looking at the vestments here. We've got Aether damage, we've got Death Sentence and Decomposition skill points on this. We've got 2 resistances, some casting speed and offensive ability. All of this is really, really good. The only downside, of course, is that it's very light on armor. But 4 skill points we can use on skills that we actually want overcapped. This is pretty good. And also the Mantle. Where is it? Mantle here. +2 to Drain Essence. That's our main skill. We got Aether damage, we got health, we got OA, we got 2 resistances. This is, again, pretty good. Technically speaking, we'll only be using it temporarily because we're going for the Dreeg shoulders. But these are decent stats. And later on, we will also have, where is it? This one here at level 70. So same thing, but number get bigger. Same for the chest as well. The Outcasts augments are decent, but not amazing. Anyway, why are you under Creed's protection? Why should I trust you? And I will defy Reeve. So we've decided to side with the witch so we can get her stuff. That's pretty much it. Her quests, however, I guess if you want to get her stuff by level 50, we're going to have to do them. So let's gather the items for her. These are just random, well, not random, but they're 3 rare crafting components. Ancient Heart, Blood of Chthon, and Tainted Brain Matter. I'm going to have all of these in the bank. You will as well. Unfortunately, it does cut the Black Legion quest line completely, which kind of sucks. Because I really would like to get the reputation from the Black Legion quest line. They're also going to send you to an area that's really, really good for farming Chthonic Seals of Binding. Not that you can't get there anyway, but they would send you there with a quest, and it's kind of good to do 2 things at once. Alright, so Anasteria, here they are. As I mentioned, every one of her quests gives you minus Black Legion reputation, and I'm just going to tell her no for her little story there for a second. Now, I want... Is it respected? Yeah, I want respected. So, Outcast, we are at tolerated, and we need 4,000 to get respected. However, Ethereals and Chthonians are things we are about to be gunning down in their dozens. So I am going to leave this quest for now. This one, I think, is going to be... is this one to the back end of... over here? The East Marsh? I think. Let's... Oh, hang on. No, I don't want to hear it. Alright, let's hear it. Yes, okay, it is for the Fang of... is it Mari's car? I forget which one it is. We will probably do that, but we're going to skip it for the moment. We are instead going to head for the Necropolis. So let's just wander on over that way. We've got a bunch of Ethereals to kill on the way. And mines to dodge. Or mines to not die in, shall we say. There we go. See the lightning hitting things off the screen because it happened to trigger on a tick where I killed everything. So we're trying to get through here without blowing ourselves up. Now, if you have a look on the ground, you're going to see these little white things. I don't see them at the moment. It could be crazy. I mean, definitely crazy. Here they are. So these little things on the ground here, they're mines. and if you run on them, they will explode and you will take damage. The enemies also trigger the mines, and they do take damage from them, so you can actually use the mines to kill things if you want to spend the effort to round things up and run them over mines. I generally don't bother, but it is a thing you can do. Okay, and I don't think I want to be standing in that. Arcane Balance, Immaterial Edge. Immaterial Edge, I think, is the Aether Axe from memory. Yes, it is. Percentage Aether damage, extra damage to Chthonics. I mean, that 10% extra damage to Chthonics could be really useful because the Act boss is definitely a Chthonic. So I don't think I'm going to use it, but you definitely could make an argument for it. Alright, lovely. We've found a trap. There we go. Some of the crystals, pretty much from here forward, will get up out of the ground and start chasing you. It's just kind of how it is. I do also want to get a belt from inside of Port Valbury, so to the lovely person who joked in the last episode that he was missing the video where I cleared Port Valbury 5 times. Don't give me ideas. I do want the belt from in there, and I'm trying to decide if I want to run through there and get the belt, or if I just want to use the +1 Necromancer belt from Lunar Valgoth. If we're making it kind of new player friendly, then it definitely should be the +1 Necro belt from Malmoth. But I definitely want that Vitality to Aether conversion on the Port Valbury belt, so I'll probably do it at the end of normal. Alright, we made it to the gates of Necropolis, so before we go anywhere, there is a lore note just over here, which is free XP for just clicking on something. And I do like some free XP. Belt with an Aether Missile proc on it. And an armor upgrade. Yeah, I'm going to use that. I actually don't need to put that anti-venom salve on the belt. However, it does come with armor that's applied to every slot, so I'm just going to do it anyway. And what resist did I lose? Elemental, I don't care. And bleeding, I care, but not that much. So I'll take the extra Aether Missile proc there. And while I'm here, I may as well have a quick look here. I'm not expecting anything particularly amazing, but it's definitely worth having a look. Arsonist of Decay, Vigorous of whatever. Yeah. Nope, that's fine. Okay. So, nice new belt with the damage proc on it. We're going to be spitting out Aether Missiles like you wouldn't believe. I think these have a cooldown of half a second, is it? 1.5 seconds. So if you get a couple of them, you can... If you get enough of them, you can actually get to the point where the first one fires out, hits something, triggers another one, and you can just have them constantly refreshing themselves. Which, if you just run around and get hit, because of Spectral Wrath, you will attack something, or anything, and then the missiles will just start flying. It's really fun. It's not super duper effective, but it kind of works, and it's fun. I have considered also making a build around that as well, with just Spectral Wrath and Aether Missile procs. It would work, but it would probably be frustrating, so I'm not going to do it likely, but it would be fun. Alright, so we're heading up here to the northeast corner, I guess, of this area, because there is a lovely little cave that I want to go into. This is a prep. Yep, let's go ahead and shred him. Push to give me more damage and energy regen button, and we can just take care of him. And you are just going to continuously see those little green Aether missiles come flying out. You're going to see the Aether lightning as well. So, one thing I really like about Aether damage in particular is all of the damage procs that it's actually quite easy to get a lot of. Okay, malnutrition, the unstoppable here. And a totem to do is always good. I'm going to turn the loot off, and let's just see. Well, this is going to be incredibly frustrating, because they're all going to have decent Aether resistance. Alright, we got at least a blue here. Starseer's Horde, no. Thonian Thread Sash, also no. And I will, of course, eat the blueprint. Alright, what do we got here? Plate Chaucers. Dancing Shadows is quite good. 2 resistances on this. Got some cunning. Let's not push the spacebar. Let's have a look here. So, gain 20 cunning, lose 10 physique. I'm probably okay with that trade. Losing some regen to gain some move speed and chance to avoid melee attacks, I'm probably okay with that as well. Lose 50% poison acid is a huge number, but doesn't actually matter. And yeah, we would gain Pierce and Chaos Res in exchange for... I think I'm okay with that swap. The extra move speed is nice, although it doesn't do anything because we're over the cap already. Yeah, I think I'm going to make that swap. 50% poison resistance, or anything that's that high, any resistance that's that big of a number, is going to be very hard to take off. So if you've got the opportunity to do it, definitely do it, because you don't want to be stuck with level, what were they, level 35 or something, pants. Okay, and none of the rest of this is likely to be any good, so we'll just grab it all and be on our way. Right, so I'm heading up this way because of this little cave here. Now, I'm actually just going to go in there. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave a rift and come back. So we're taking the risk here because a lot of the times I'll find an item and I'll be like, oh, I need to swap that right now. And so I'll go and swap it, not thinking that I've moved my personal rift and now it's nowhere near the thing that I was trying to do. And so I just forget to do it. So I definitely do need to go in that cave. If I don't go in there, please yell at me in the comments. But we will see. Alright, Devotion Shrine. Let's turn those off so I can see what's going on. And got it. Alright, Ordered of the Wild. Chaos and Ellie, but not great. The Maw of the Beast is a shield. Not really interested in that. Dreadmaker foot pads. I think I've had 3 or 4 of these now. I don't want it. And as far as devotions go, we are onto the Chariot of the Dead. So offensive ability and slow. Next level, some cunning and armor. This one here, we'll have to get it, but stun resistance is very nice situationally. If you're not being stunned, it doesn't do anything. Don't really need the vitality resistance, so I will probably leave that one till last on the constellation. Alright, level 43. Always into death sentence here. We're up to minus 23% Aether resistance shredding. This is a not insignificant number. And I should use this. The Mage Storm proc is going to get less and less relevant with every level, whereas the Aether damage on Word of Pain will scale with me, with levels, with percentage damage and such. Because it's part of the MI, it's going to actually go up. Every time I get a level, that flat Aether damage and Word of Pain is going to go up. And the +2 to death sentence is always going to be useful. I think I'm just going to chuck it on, and we'll see what happens. 21, 21. Let's get more physique here. I'm more or less splitting at 50-50. Alright, here's the rift. We have a fight on our hands here. So let's go ahead and kill everybody. These guys here are mildly terrifying because they get to use the weapon that they have, and that weapon can be a little bit scary. Alright, and we've got... here you go. So the guy who had this was hitting me with it. Now, this one is not great, but you can get a physical prefix and a physical suffix, and these can get hideous amounts of damage. So I'm glad he didn't have a very good one. Wretched Necessity does have +2 to Drain Essence, but I think I'll keep my +1 to all Necro stuff. Okay, we will stop the cult, but Daddy needs another devotion point first, so we're going back here. And successfully remembered the rift, which is good. So you don't have to yell at me in the comments. Not about this, anyway. I'm sure I'll screw something else up. Maybe just lose another episode. That could be fun. Alright, and this place is a bit of a big circle. So you kind of come out this door here, and we're going to go around, all the way around and come back in. So it's kind of like the number 6, and we want to get to the middle. Only, unlike the number 6, it actually doesn't join up, so you can't just go part way, you got to go all the way around the circle. I'm also thinking, if I'm going to be using the Word of Pain thing, then why not dual wield it and just play Word of Pain? I mean, the damage is already kind of decent. The issue, of course, being that Word of Pain falls off pretty hard later. It'll be fine. Definitely not playing a Word of Pain build, although you could be forgiven for thinking that I was. Right. We have another golem? No, it's a ghoul. Another ghoul boss in here, and this one also drops a medal, so say hello to Plagius the Decrepit, who is going to die pretty quickly. There he goes. The Mark of Plagius also comes with Chaos Resistance as default, which is quite good. But we don't really do that. Dreadguard is also really good for Necro. Why does it keep giving me all these items that I can't use with this build? Alright, let's grab this and get out of here. I don't want to spend all day killing ghouls. I don't want to spend all day killing golems either, but these are ghouls. Alright, so +1 to Necromancer Shield, combined with that the +1 to Necromancer Helmet, we could be quite easily sitting on 3, 4, maybe even 5 to all Necromancer skills. Definitely not, but it could be. Yeah, Acid to Harbinger of Souls, Vitality to Harbinger of Souls, percentage stuff, yeah. Alright. Okay, that's fine. So next up we have to get into the House of the Loghorrean. So to do that we have to blow up these... Oh, there isn't one here this time. We have to blow up the blood wagons, basically. And on the way we can get some fun loot. Which I'm hoping is here. It's not here. It would have been over here, I think. There's an Exalted Stash in this area, which I like loot, so I'm going to go find it, hopefully. Checking just here for the Devotion Shrine. I'll go up to the top here as well, because one, there's another spawn location for, not a Devotion Shrine, sorry, a totem. Another one just here. But there's also some free XP just down here. We can go ahead and eat that. There's my totem. However, there's a quest location over this way and potential totem location here. Now, obviously, I know where the one is that I have this time, but I'm just pointing it out. These guys hit really hard. On their own, not so much, but they can hit ridiculously hard with the monster infrequent force wave weapon. They do also do like a force wave-ish kind of skill, which I don't think gets the buffs from force wave because I'm pretty sure it isn't actually force wave. But yeah, a lot of those bonuses on that weapon definitely help out. Oathbreaker's Guard. So I think I've had that whole set now. These shoulders are pretty good. Stonehide is a very nice prefix. Alright, so loot's off. Everybody is Word of Pained, and I did actually remember to use the Mana Infusion as well. Arcanum Sigil does have a decent amount of Aether stuff on it. Obviously, we're getting Tyrant's weapons now that I no longer need them for my Blade Master. Right, still looking for the blood wagons. I've got one of them dead, which is good. Let's see if we can find the other one. Just over here is the extra or other location where you can find a totem. These guys here with the white names, they're not scary. They don't have the weapons, so they just have the base damage, I guess we'll call it. And yeah, they're definitely not scary at all. It's their bigger, angrier cousins, these ones with the yellow names. They're a little scary. See that guy? Superior. Whole bunch of bonus flat physical damage. And then just imagine there was a 0 after that. So it was 210 to 390 flat damage. And then imagine there was a 0 after that percentage too, because I have seen 700% physical damage on these things. They can definitely hit like massive trucks, like a truck on the front of a train tied to another truck kind of thing. They can hit really hard. Alright, before we go in to fight the Loghorrean, things you need to know. So the Loghorrean is the Act boss, and I'm going to kill him today. Poison and acid resistance, kind of close to the cap. This one's less important, but there is a boss, sort of a mini-boss on the way to the Loghorrean that does a decent amount of poison damage. You're definitely gonna want to have pretty good poison and acid resist. For the Loghorrean himself, you're going to want fire, you're going to want vitality, you're going to want chaos, and you're also going to want poison and acid. So all 4 of these, if you're not capped on any of them, go ahead and grab a potion. You'll only be able to use a potion for one of them, but chaos is probably the most important, then vitality, then fire, then poison. Although having said that, the one thing that does poison damage is actually kind of scary, so maybe this is second after all. I'm going to go vendor a bunch of stuff, and then we're going to head on in. So grab whatever potions you need for resistances. You won't need potions for damage, but if you want to have a damage potion, if all your resistances are capped, go ahead and grab that as well. And then we are going to go ahead and kill ourselves a chthonic entity. The voice of Chthon, actually, so it's a pretty big deal. I did just sell this. The 10% damage to chthonics is a nice idea, but I'm just going to kill it without. Okay, stash all of the things, and let's get into it. So I found 2 pairs of the Perdition shoulders, and I was saying how cool the Perdition set is for leveling up and how it's, you know, super strong and stuff, and I just haven't found any more pieces of it, which is kind of frustrating because I would actually like to get the helmet. The helmet and shoulders are usually the pieces you're going to want. I definitely don't want the shield. Chest, I could go for the chest as well, or gloves would also be good. Okay, welcome to the Tomb of the Watchers. It is absolutely infested with Chthonians, and we are going to kill all of them. Actually, we're not. We're going to kill a decent number of them. I'll probably kill the Loghorrean around level 45, if I had to guess. But there are a little bit of hidden loot in this place, which I think I've mentioned once or twice that I enjoy the hidden loot. But just in case I haven't, I do enjoy the hidden loot. And the first part of the hidden loot, potential totem here. The first part of the hidden loot is just on the wall up ahead. So we have got this right here, this loose torch. Go ahead and push that, and this door will open. And also another door. But this is the only one I'm going to use. There are a couple of monsters, or ghosts? Demons? Chthonians? There's a couple of spawns in here anyway. All Chthonians. Okay, and they're giving me a bunch of pet stuff. These pants are not worth using for this build. The other door that opens up is this one right here. So when you pop the candle there, opens doors here and here, and lets you in for some free loot. Speaking of free loot, I do want to come down this way, partly because it's the way to go to get to the next area, but also partly because there's free loot. So go ahead and pop that, and we got rubbish, but it's rubbish that's worth iron bits, so I'll take it. Alright, this is the half of the reason you want your poison and acid resistances maxed. He's going to put poison on the floor that you're going to stand in or move, and, well, he almost died before he got to do it. Okay, this is bad. This is really bad. Both of these drops. Not so much these ones. There is another pair of blue leg plates that has Aether and Elemental resistance on it that is incredibly hard to end up taking off. These ones I'm going to use as well. So they have more armor, they have physical resistance, and they have two resistances that I kind of like. We're 18% over on both of these, so I could take my shoulder component back as well, which... I mean, what would I put there? Hang on. Before we do this, I also have to craft an explorer's tunic now. Because it's free XP, and they're really, really cheap. So, now whenever I turn in quests, I can forget to swap 2 pieces of gear instead of just 1. Alright, give me my scaled hide back. Now, since I don't need this one, let's keep the item. Chuck that one there. And I'm actually going to keep this item as well. I'm going to put a scaled hide on the shoulders. And what I can do... Hey, my resistances are almost completely maxed now. What I can do is I can put ancient armor plates on the chest and the legs. I'll still get my armor absorption percentage. But I'll also get... what is it? It's 12%? 8% increased armor for each of these. So we can chuck this on there. We can chuck that on there. We've got armor increased. We've got 95% instead of 98%, but I think it's kind of worth it. And let's... Actually... Do I have another scaled hide here? I don't. Okay, that's fine. Yep. The other thing I could have done, actually, is leave the scaled hides here, leave the silk swatch here, and swap out a wardstone for an Aether Soul. I think I would be uncapping... no, I wouldn't. Okay, I talked myself into it. Aether Soul needs 3 Wrathstones. 1, 2, 3. Aether Soul. Give me one of those. I need another Silk Swatch. This was incredibly wasteful, but it's kind of fine. And then I need 2 Scaled Hides as well. Alright, so that is my armor stuff done. I also want the Explorer's Tunic. Yep, which needs a dense fur. dense fur. Explorer's tunic. Bam. Alright, so this one, same as the pants, comes with 5% XP gain. And if I was to wear 2 of them, I would get 8% total speed. The issue with these is they are level 15 blue items, which actually means that they have very low armor. The stats on them are quite good, but the armor is very low, especially the helmet and the boots are quite good as well. So I will definitely hang on to those. I will probably forget to equip them. But let's see how we go. So I want to keep the item here. I want to keep the item here. And keep the item here. So I lost about 100 and something armor across the entirety of my armor set. Chuck that on there. Chuck that on there. I'm missing 6% on lightning, which is a little bit frustrating, but that'll be fine. Pretty happy with that. Okay. Let's continue. I could also have put a black tallow on there, assuming I have enough Death's Vigil reputation, which I think I do, to buy it. I think you just need, where are you, Order of Death's Vigil. Yeah, you just need Respected to get the blueprints. Okay, we do also have some more hidden loot here. It's another loose torch. So I can go in here and get the hidden spoils. This one's fairly easy to see that it's there, but maybe not quite so easy to figure out where the key is, especially because you'll be over here when you see it, and it's very hard to find that. Alright, Devotion Point. Let's go. Everybody melts. You get any heroes at all? Not a single one. Okay. That's a thing that happened. Cunning and armor. So yeah, the vitality resistance, the stun resistance, it's good to have, but if we look at my stun, 25%, yeah, definitely good to have. But getting the proc online earlier, I think, is the way to go. Getting that extra armor and that heal. Wayward Soul is actually really, really good. Probably my favorite defensive devotion, or at least very, very solid. Alright, I see that totem, and I see these idiots. Kill the non-believer, you say?
That skill's not ready.
Alright, got a hero here, which I love to see. Nicely diseased. Guardsman's breastplate. Okay, that... No, we're not making that. I am going back for that totem, though. I do like totems. That totem should get me to level 44. Turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. Okay, these guys, these definitely hurt if they get their forearm stab off. They definitely hurt. What do we got? Tempest of the Void, no. And the Glyph Spellbook, which is also a no, but I will definitely eat it. Let's go ahead and loot all this, and we'll be on our way. Alright, and we're coming up on the boss of this area. Bloodlord Thalanus is the boss's name. And he is basically a super cultist. And we're more or less just going to kill him. Sorry, he's on the next level. This is this is the other spawn location for the green wormy boss that I killed. That I was talking about him being half of the reason for wanting poison acid resistance. He could have been there at the door. The Bloodlord Thalanus is going to be right in front of the Loghorrean. Okay. This is probably my least favorite area, and I whinge about it every time I come in here because it's still my least favorite area. Mostly because it's a little bit of a maze. Now, you would think that that would make the city of Malmouth my least favorite area, but actually no, because I know where I'm going there. Whereas here, the where you got to go changes depending on which areas are blocked off. All right, more points in vigor would probably be a decent idea, but I think I want to actually start putting points in Inquisitor Seal. And I can hear the screaming already, because nobody likes to play Inquisitor Seal. But standing in the Inquisitor Seal does get you some damage for anyone who also stands in it. So that rebuke section there, that is an area of damage. Does Aether damage because of the metal I have that's converting that. Extra damage to Ethereals, Chthonians, Aether Corruptions, and Eldritch, which is all good stuff to have. The barrier there is a buff that the player gets, and this is realistically the reason why people take Inquisitor Seal. Technically it does damage, you can kill stuff with it, but the reason you take this is that 84 damage absorption, which comes off of every single attack that you get hit with, and it comes off last, so all your resistances get applied, so 100 damage becomes 20 because you have maxed out resistances, don't you? And then, you know, shield blocking is applied if you somehow manage to block something. If it was physical damage, then your armor is applied and such. So it can be really good. A little bit of absorption can go a very long way. And we may be about to see the reason why I don't like this place. We'll see how we go. And it's definitely time to get a new relic as well, since I've picked up Inquisitor Seal, and I like having Inquisitor Seal on button number 2. Is this about to be a miracle? Superior of Ruthlessness. Okay, I'm glad he didn't get to hit me with that. Also, can I just register my absolute shock that 1, I managed to get here without finding a dead end, because I do literally every time. And 2, it was a straight shot up the side. I've killed the Loghorrean a lot, and I have never seen this pathway where it's just a straight run without having to go around anything. This just does not happen. I'm very glad, but also kind of confused. Like, what's going on? Anyway, let's go kill ourselves a boss. Well, actually, 2 bosses. So, Bloodlord Fallon is here. We're just going to kill him. Now, he's going to summon friends, and his friends, when they die, will shred our resistances. And he has Curse of Frailty to reduce our resistances as well. But my health bar is barely moving, so I just don't think he's relevant. He does have a nice stick. And he also has, I want to say he has a medal for Doombolt as well. Could be wrong about that. Okay, so I went through what you need for the Loghorrean earlier, but just a quick recap. Poison and acid resistance, chaos resistance, vitality resistance, fire resistance. Some way of getting your health back would be good. Obviously, we have the suck. And I think that's kind of all we need. So if you have any potions or whatever, use them now. And let's go kill him. I guess I should put... That's the wrong button there. It's fine. I'll do it without the relic. So you want to watch his mouth. When it's glowing red like that, he's going to sunder you, which I'm also going to just ignore. When it's green, he's going to vomit on you like that. The vomit can shotgun you. So do be aware of that. And I guess I should be killing these guys because I am sundered. And actually I will need the energy. And this is the boss of the game that we are disrespecting, violating perhaps, depending on how you want to look at it. He just can't hurt me. Which is nice, I will admit. It was very nice to be able to just stand here, hold the right mouse button down. I am going to run out of energy here. Maybe not. Nope, he's dead. Alright, there you go. That's the boss. They did buff him in a recent patch. We now can access Elite and also Ultimate. We're not going to be doing that, but it is possible. Yeah, they did buff him in a recent patch, and I think they need to buff him again because he's a little bit of a joke. I don't think I've had a character recently that I haven't been able to just stand in front of him and blow him up. Now, granted, my gear is a lot better than someone who's rushing, which does help. But you shouldn't be able to just stand there. Sunder? Don't care. Extra little monsters coming to attack me while I'm sundered? Don't care. This just shouldn't be this easy. Okay, let's get out of here. We got a quest to turn in. We got a guaranteed purple item to pick up. Do we get that, actually? I think we still get it at level 44. Let's find out. It's almost never anything useful anyway, but maybe? You can get some useful stuff out of it, like the gloves with the healing proc on it would be okay. Let's see what we get. Divine Steel Shoulder Guard. Lightning damage. Right. No. Having said that, let me just skip the final cutscene for the game. These are not horrible. Even if these had no stats on them at all, that armor, combined with 2 really good resistances, means that these are actually probably worth using. Maybe even over those Ascended shoulder pads. So I'm going to put those in the I swear I'm going to use it later tab. I'm going to note that I forgot to put the Explorer's stuff on while I was turning quests in. And, yeah. There we go. Pick up these quests here. I will find your father. And that is actually going to be the end of this episode. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Congratulate you all on beating normal if you're playing along. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.